let's get to know Jason a little bit. This is honestly actually the first time I've had like a full-on 100% conversation with Jason. I'll be honest with you guys. We've texted some, we've had conversation on the group, but this is the first time in my life I have ever heard his voice, I believe. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So kind of a funny thing. But let's get to know Jason a little bit better. And baseball family, I'll tell you right now, if you want to come on the podcast and do this with us, let us know. We will absolutely bring you on. We'll have a lot of fun with it. So, Jason, brace yourself. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's do a rundown. What is your favorite color?
Blue.
No green. No, I'm just kidding. Very good. All right. What is one unpopular opinion you have about the game of baseball?
An unpopular opinion?
Yeah, an
Uh,
unpopular opinion.
I think you should still be allowed to collide at home plate.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I remember that Buster Posey collision. I was like, that's just a freak accident. Come on now, right?
Yeah, it was no Ray Fosse.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, so I grew up catching, and the very first, so I guess I would have been 10. The very first game of that season, our shortstop threw the ball a little bit wide of the plate, and so I had to reach across my body to get it. And this kid, who we were playing up because a couple of kids on our team were a little bit older than us, we had to play up a league.
Okay.
And this kid, who's twice my size, came barreling in, hit me at the waist, and I flipped up over his back like something out of a Mighty Ducks movie. And
Oh,
I crashed down on the ground. And my coach comes out to talk to everybody. He looks at me. He's like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm good. I'm good." And he's like, "You guys have got to get that throw online. You're gonna kill him back there. This is the first game of the season."
so so since you're mentioning youth baseball, where I grew up, what we called Little League was really town ball.
Okay.
Um, there was 4 teams in our league. It was the Pirates, the Phillies, the Yankees, the Indians slash Marlins, and that's where I was. My dad was coaching the Indians, and then when I started playing, he stopped coaching. Didn't want that situation basically.
Yeah, that makes
Um,
sense.
and I started as a catcher.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm 8 years old playing town ball. There's no age teams, so you're on a team of 8-year-olds through 12-year-olds.
Oh man.
Imagine being an 8-year-old kid stepping into the batter's box, batting against a 12-year-old pitcher who's throwing like 50 to 60 mile per hour heat.
Mm-hmm. Dude, that's exactly how it felt. We were 10 years old playing against 12-year-olds, and I felt like all those kids were 6 feet tall with mustaches.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Granted, I was a couple years older, but still, no, the fear and the intimidation of that. And by the way, we got boat raced every single game because of that. Like, absolutely, mercy ruled every game because they were so much bigger than us. But yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Man, the best thing about that, like our town league, was like you had your friends, and then come game time, they were not your friends.
Yep.
You They were the enemy, and you had to win.
Yeah, for sure. That's such a fun thing about playing like within the town. Like I coached a couple years ago. My buddy and I, like, we didn't have any kids on the team. We just decided we wanted to coach, so we went down and they put us, on a team or whatever to coach. And we had to get it into these kids' head because they'd like see their friends across the field. Like they're not your friends right now. They're your enemies. They're your opponents. Like, what do you mean? We're just kidding. Just go out there and play and have fun. But yeah, it was no, because that's how it was for us though. Like we would play kids that we knew, and it was, like, no,
Exactly.
we're here to beat you into the ground. We're not here to be friends. No, that's tons of fun. All right, what is the name of your autobiography?
I tried my best.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that. I like that a lot. If the Phillies were an Avenger, who would they be?
Ooh, if the Phils were an Avenger, who would they be? Ah, they're such a quirky franchise. I- Probably Thor. Not
That's a
so
good
much
one.
for the superpowers, but personality.
Yeah, I like that. And I initially I was going to ask that question: if Bryce Harper were an Avenger, who would he be? And my thought was actually Thor, partially because of the hair. It's gotten pretty long.
He's
The
got that
beard.
93 Macho Row Phillies look down pat.
He does. He does. He does look like he belongs on that team. I almost feel like he's not quite big enough because he's likely not artificially inflated, but at the same time, like he does have that '93 Phillies look. He does have it. Yeah,
To be fair,
and
Kruk was not artificially enhanced. That was straight up Oscar Mayer.
it's true. That's absolutely true. 100%. But yeah, I'm sure there were guys on the team who were, and yeah. And you know what? I've actually got a buddy who Bryce Harper is his cousin-in-law.
No way.
Bryce Harper, yeah, he married his cousin, my buddy's cousin, and one year he got to sit down with him and watch the World Series. I want to say it was like 2010. He sat down and watched a World Series game with him, and he's like, "You have no idea how big that guy is." He's like, he is bigger than any human I have ever met in my whole life. He is just huge. It's like, dang, because he looks pretty big on TV, but he's like, yeah, it does no justice. He's enormous.
No, I can believe
So
that.
yeah, I thought that was interesting, pretty cool to hear about. All right, Jason, tell me about your very worst ballpark experience.
Oh man, very worst ballpark experience.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really. I mean, obviously there's crappy times at the ballpark, but I've never
Mm-hmm.
really had like a bad time. Even like my worst time. So
Mm-hmm.
2007, myself and I was already out of high school, but the guy who came with me was my soccer coach. He actually just joined the VIP group this week.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Welcome.
we went to see the Phils play against the Giants,
Mm-hmm.
and it poured the entire game, and they didn't call the game. And by the time the game was over, it was me, him, and two other guys in our section, and we were having the time of our life.
That's
We were
awesome.
soaked to the bone, but we were having
Yeah,
just a blast.
that's awesome. Yeah, that and I could see that being like down there because of the rain, but at the same time, like it's like they say with golf, a bad day on the golf course is better than a good day in the office, and it's the same thing with baseball. A bad day at the ballpark is better than a good day anywhere else, pretty much. That,
I
yeah, and
would disagree on the golf part.
I I would totally disagree on the golf part because I actually sold my golf clubs a couple years ago because I was like, I'm done with this stupid sport. Like I'm totally done. But no, I'm just saying like with the saying, and I feel like that relates over to baseball.
Oh yeah,
That
without a doubt. I mean,
yeah.
I've gotten extremely sunburned to the point I can't move at the ballpark.
Yeah, for sure. Like um, Brig and Tiff, we've talked about with the Orem Owls because I like I said I worked with them as an intern, and there were a few times I went and got a hot dog, just give it another chance. And they've talked about how that is the absolute worst hot dog you can get in the world, and I will 100% vouch for that. That my worst ballpark experience ever has been trying to get a good hot dog at an Orem Owls game. I mean, I spent every home game for an entire season at that stadium, and probably had 4 or 5 of them, and none of them were good. They are all awful somehow. I don't know. I don't know how, but that is by far my worst ballpark experience is trying to get a hot dog at an Orem Owls game.
That's still not that bad of an experience if
It
it's
really
just a
isn't.
hot dog.
No. Yeah, because the fries were good, so that kind of saved it, and then I had free soda, so whatever.
There you go.
Um, all right, let's see what else we have here. If you could have an ability of any baseball player in history, what would it be and why? So, like, if you wanted like Clayton Kershaw's curveball or Randy Johnson's slider, Griffey's swing, what would you choose and why?
Oh man. Okay, I'll be a homer on this one.
Okay.
Um, I've always loved Chase Utley's swing.
Hmm.
He
Kind of against the
has
grain there on that one.
he has an awesome swing. He
Mm-hmm.
always put the ball in play. He could hit for power if he needed to, but he was
Mm-hmm.
never like a power hitter.
Right.
It was all of it was just based on the mechanics and motion of his swing.
I like that. That's a really good one. That's great. Kind of I guess not against the grain, but that's a deep cut. That's not one that I would have expected. All right, which team in baseball minor league or major league, has the best hat?
All right, I'm wearing it right now. Actually, you can't see it. Um, so where I work in Harrisburg,
Okay.
Pennsylvania, and that's home to the Harrisburg Senators. Uh, their stadium is located on an island in the
That's cool.
city. Um, and on hot summer nights, mayflies show up because of the lights in the stadium.
Hmm.
They have a hat. It's an alternate hat with a mayfly holding a baseball bat.
That's really cool.
It's
I gotta look
it's
this up.
it's not something I think people outside the area would think are cool, but as someone from the area, I think it's absolutely amazing.
Oh, that is a cool hat. That's really cool. Like the navy blue with the mayfly on it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that. That's a great looking hat. And they also have the is that George Washington holding a is that a firecracker or a beer?
They have a George Washington celebrating the Nats World Series win,
Mmm,
and then they also
that's
have
cool.
Uncle Slam, who was their mascot for a long time.
That's really cool. Oh yeah, that's George Washington with goggles and a champagne bottle. Oh my
Yep.
gosh, that's so funny. That's amazing. That might be my new favorite hat. But
Yeah,
that
I'm
mayfly hat is really cool. I'm gonna have to put that up so everybody can see it.
yeah I'm really lucky in that I'm located close to a bunch of minor league teams. Like
Hmm.
I travel an hour every day to go to Harrisburg to work,
Hmm.
and Senators are right there. I've walked from my office building to the island to see games.
That's
Uh,
cool.
where I live, I can catch Reading, Pennsylvania in an hour and see the Reading Fight and Phil. So I go there a lot with my dad and my grandfather. That's our Father's Day tradition.
Hmm.
Uh, about an hour and 10, 20 minutes, depending on traffic, going east. We can go to see the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. If I want to see an independent game, I can go to Lancaster, New York in about an hour 30.
Nice. That's really cool. And that's actually one thing we, for anybody who doesn't know, we recently moved to Arizona just a couple weeks ago, and darn it, COVID-19. There's nothing going on right now, but I mean, we're only like 10 minutes from Chase Field. Um, when next year during spring training, if there is spring training, cross fingers, hope so. Um, we're like 15 minutes uh, from Peoria Sports Complex, 15 minutes from I think it's Camelback Park is where the Dodgers play, and then obviously not very far from any other stadium because they're all so close together. I'm like, man, next March I'm gonna have a heyday going to baseball games, and it sounds like
Baseball
that's just kind
heaven.
of like another week for you,
Yeah.
right? Just,
I don't get to go to that many games anymore with the
yeah,
kids, but I
yeah,
mean,
that definitely changes things.
the guaranteed game is always the Father's Day game. I always get my dad and
Yeah,
grandfather tickets for Father's Day. Obviously, that's changed this year,
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
but I'm making up for that in other ways.
That's cool. That's really cool. All right, I got one more for you. Are you ready?
Yep,
If you could visit one stadium from any time, what would it be?
man. So from any time, I mean the two that are currently there that I want to go to in the worst way are definitely Wrigley, definitely Fenway, simply because of the history
Hmm.
there.
Right.
Um, but man, I'd love to go to some of those old ballparks like Ebbets or Shibe that are
Hmm.
in the center of the city. It's crammed in there with all these houses. You have crazy right field foul lines,
Yeah,
left field's far away. Just I'd love to experience one of those ballparks.
that's cool. I've always, I've always just wanted to see the Polo Grounds, that legendary center field.
Oh
Like,
my gosh, yes.
just like, that to me, that would just be one crazy game to watch. But that's great though.